Going in depth today on a very serious issue. By some measures, Utah's current drought is unprecedented. Records going back to 1895 show the percentage of Utah that is in exceptional drought. That is the highest category of drought by each month. And in that time, the National Oceanic and Atmospheric Administration records 17 months with 50% or more of the state in that category. Well, 7 of those months are the last 7 months. November, December of 2020, and January through May 2021. June is on track. It's surely going to add an 8th month to that count. Currently, we're at 64% of the state in exceptional drought. The only state close to us is Arizona at 57% exceptional drought. 28 of Utah's 29 counties under official drought disaster declarations. For all of us, it means we are living on savings, essentially. We're living on what is in our reservoirs and hoping that something improves, but you can't live on hope. The man who watches those reservoirs and our water levels and plans for things like this is Todd Adams, Director of the Utah Division of Water Resources. Todd, thank you for taking the time. I know this is a tough time. What is the level of urgency we should be feeling right now?
This is an exceptional drought, as you said. 2020 was extremely dry, and the snowpack that we got this year was about 81% of normal. It came on really dry conditions, so the runoff that we got into our reservoirs, we just didn't see at what levels. 21 of our 42 largest reservoirs are at 55% of capacity or less. So it is really, really dry, and as you're seeing in the conditions that are out there, we're seeing fires that have late season attributes, and it's just a really dry year.
And we don't know, there's no way to know if this next winter is going to be any better than the one that we just had. We've had so many dry winters and an extended drought. So we want to keep as much of that water in the reservoirs, right? I mean, we can't just drain them.
Absolutely, and as you probably all saw, the governor's executive order, directing us to 2 waterings in the north and 3 waterings in the south to get our use down. Yellow lawns are going to be okay. They're resilient. They'll come back. We've got to survive, not thrive.
Yeah, I wonder when we think about even lawns, should we all be thinking about maybe making our residential areas look more like what we see in a Phoenix or a Las Vegas, start using water like we are in a desert?
Absolutely. We need to conserve water. Don't water between 6 and 10 in the north, 8 to 10 in the south. Prioritize your watering towards trees, shrubs, perennials, flowers, gardens before you get to your grass. Grass is tough. It'll enter a dormancy component when there's hot, dry conditions, and it'll bounce back when the conditions improve. Things like raising your mower, check with your local water provider, visit slowtheflow.org for more conservation tips.
And are we to the point that we need to stop encouraging things and mandate things? Is it that serious?
It's pretty serious for this particular year. Again, we don't know how long this drought's going to last, and we've got to do our part.
Yeah. And I wonder what are some of the steps that you think about taking? I remember Governor Herbert's famous phrase was, and a lot of people say this, but hope for the best, plan for the worst. You're the planner. What's the worst you're planning for?
We're planning for this season right now. This drought is extremely tight and tough right now. We've got to do our part. Governor Cox get his executive orders. We're in extreme drought. We've got to water less. If we each do our little bit of our part, we'll save a lot altogether.
And as we look at the broader issues regionally, this drought is not just in Utah, although we seem to have it worse than other places. Do you think people realize that because we're colder in Utah than, say, Arizona or Nevada, do we think that we are wetter when we really were every bit as dry as those places?
I don't know what people think. I do know that we've developed incredible resources to have 20 years of drought, to still have our reservoirs in the shape that they're in, with the caveat that some are going to go dry this year. But our forefathers and the planning that they did for us, we're living on those resources. So whatever reservoir you are on and using, whether it's municipal or ag or what have you, that reservoir's put there for a reason. We take the water in the excess times, we store it there and use it in the times that we need it. And that's what's helping us get by right now. Of course, we pull on groundwater and our surface water, that all matters, and it's really dry.
You pretty much addressed this, but just last thing while we're out of time here. For those who are worried about keeping up with the Joneses, the lawn needs to be perfect. Maybe they're in an HOA that requires them to keep it up to a certain level. What do you say to them?
It's okay that our grass goes yellow or a little bit brown. It will come back.
All right. Todd Adams, Director of the Utah Division of Water Resources. You have a tough job this year, and I really appreciate you spending some of your time with us to enlighten us about the situation.
So much for having me.